question I get about Weird Love is why shapeshifters? Well, to be quite honest with you, I read a lot. I've read vamp books, I've read zombie books, I've read werewolf books, I've read shapeshifter books. I read fantasy, sci-fi, paranormal, and romance, and the occasional thriller and mystery as well. And every once in a blue moon, some action stuff. Not really into the horror though, if you're wondering. But I've always had a thing for felines, as if you couldn't tell. And shapeshifters have also held a special place in my heart because growing up, I always thought it would be really cool to be able to change into different animals and go experience the world. So writing about weirs, as they're called in the novel, was a fun thing to do because I got to, live through the characters and do the shape changing and everything. And so I wanted to do that. Yes, I've read the Twilight books, all of them, and I've read others too that write, the vampire, werewolf kind of stories. And I also read those that write just straight up werewolf stories. There's not too many out there, young adult wise. I mean, there's a few, but it's not like a really huge group where they do something other than a werewolf. Because werewolves are hot, and hey, all the animal magnetism, right? But I wanted to be able to have the freedom to have a shapeshifter of any caliber for any kind of, not only just an animal, but like insects and lizards and snakes and stuff. I wanted them to have the ability to be able to change into whatever they desired within reason. And like I always joke with people, I don't mind reading about vampires, but I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I like my men, my leading men, to be warm and alive, not dead and cold. So you're not going to find any vampires or zombies anywhere in my stories. Sorry, just don't write those. We'll read them, but won't write them. I like the whole dynamics and the problems that come from having human DNA with animal DNA, and that's always been fascinating to me. So that's the shapeshifters in the story. You'll see in the story werewolves, weird cats, lots of shapeshifting into felines. There are bears. You have equines, so you do have those that get shifted to horse form. There's some that are birds. I don't go into heavy detail for a lot of them, but there are mentions of them. The main focus are the wolves and the weird cats, as well as the weird bears, because there's a special thing going on in the story with that. So you have to read to find out what it is. I'm not going to tell you what it is. Take the fun out of it. But yeah, so Weird Love is totally different from Jules. It's also a bigger book, by over 100 some pages. Jules was my fun action aliens shoot 'em up, bang 'em up story, which was fun to write, and it was great fun because I got to play a little bit with the stories, and the characters are a little bit older, and I was exploring romantic relationships there too. Weird Love is different because I am taking it from the journey of one young woman who doesn't know herself, and wants to find herself, but she's hindered by family and friends and circumstances beyond her control. So the story is really great because you get to see her work through things and find herself, grow, and become the beautiful, mature young woman that we know and hope she will be. And we get to see her through all the ups and downs, and that's what's great about this. And no, because I haven't started on the second book. I get that question a lot for both books. Have you started on the second one yet? Well, no, because I have other projects that I'm working on. But you will definitely enjoy growing with her. I've had fun growing with her. I mean, she feels really close to me and to my heart, and That's like the beautiful part about writing, is when you can feel your characters. They're more to you than just words on a paper, and that's the best part about writing. And they become friends with you, and you've got it, and you know them inside and out. And when they bleed, you bleed, and when they're hurt, you know you're sad. And I'm at the Oasis convention, which is a sci-fi and fantasy convention, and I got some really great advice from a fellow author, and he told me that when you're writing for your characters, treat them like you would your children. You know, you give birth to them, you have to raise them, you have to watch over them, and you're going to treat them with care. And that allayed some of my fears about actually doing a series. Even though I've plotted out 5 books total, I was still worried about taking the plunge and continuing this story, because I don't want to disappoint you. Yes, I'm talking about you, the readers. If I've been reading other books lately, and well, wow, that's a shocker, right? But I have certain authors that I love to read, and I feel kind of let down by some of them with some of their series, and it was a concern to me that if I tried to do my own series, I was afraid of running that, of having that risk of losing the characters. And so that piece of advice today came in a really timely fashion. So now I can get over my fears a little bit and go ahead with the second book. But about Werelove, I'm trying to think what else I can actually tell you about it, and without giving anything away, because it's kind of hard, because everything is definitely interlocked. There is romance, I can tell you that. Really handsome stranger saves her life, and you get to see Layla have her first crush and her first love, which is always a nice thing for anybody. I'm trying to think. Wow, Jules was kind of fun. It was a little easier to talk about because it's all adventure, but Werelove is, you know, it was more, I think I did a lot more thinking, and did deeper subjects. I got paid a compliment on one of the critique sites where I put up earlier drafts, you know, not the whole thing, but earlier drafts of Werelove to try to get feedback. And one of the comments was made that it sounded like a dark paranormal story, which I never thought of it before, but I guess it is, because compared to, you know, such stories like the Twilight stories, mine is darker. It is very much darker. It's not fluffy and light and everything nice. There's a different set of rules I'm operating under. A little bit more gritty, but I hope and that it still reads and feels realistic. I had a teenager read it, and she said that she loved it, which was nice. It's always nice to be told that someone likes something. And also on the reverse, though, if someone doesn't like it, that's fine too, as long as you explain why you don't like it. Just to throw that out, one of my pet peeves is not getting an explanation. Don't come and tell me, oh, I didn't like it, and then expect me to understand why you didn't like it. So definitely, if you buy a copy and you're not totally thrilled with it, that's fine. Make sure you, when you write me, that you tell me that you don't like it and why you don't like it, because I am very much interested in what appeals to people, what they find fascinating or don't find fascinating, or maybe you might have some suggestions. You never know. I'm always looking to improve myself. But this is pretty much all I can kind of give out on Werelove. Like I said, this is book 1 in the Werelove series, but the title is Dusk Conspiracy. And there's a reason for the naming convention, but I'll tell you that in future talks. I am coming to you live from Oasis 23. I hope you enjoyed it, and not sure what my next episode's going to be about, because I've talked about why I write, talked about Jules, and we've talked about Werelove. I'm going to have to think really hard about what the next subject will be. But until then, I thank you for tuning in, and I hope you have a good night.